In this short video, I'm going to be showing you how to arrange our blush spring blossom faux arrangement. And I'm going to be using our Suffolk vase for this. The Suffolk vase, if you're watching this very, very recently to me posting, is due back to us next month. So yeah, thank you for your patience on those. They take a long time to make. So I'm going to be starting with the Sakura Blossom. This arrangement is just like an explosion of pink, of spring with a lovely touch of pink. So I'm going to get these in first because they're just going to get the kind of the initial shape, because these are our tallest and kind of most branchy stems. I want these relatively high up, but not too high, so that we're left with too much kind of gap at the bottom. So I've just gone right down to that first, the lowest branch, and kind of the same on the other side, but not exactly the same height, just to give it some variation. But leave those kind of spreading out like that. And then I'm going to add in our spring blush magnolia. So these are like a stellata magnolia that we used to have in our old garden, actually, just with a very, very soft pink centre, and some lovely buds. So these, we've got 3 of these, so we can get one nice and tall round about there, and just measuring that against the bottom of my vase and against the worktop, so I get a good idea on where that's going to sit within the vase before I kind of commit, just like that. And at the moment these are going to move around just because we haven't got all the stems in the vase. And then have one much lower at the front, probably somewhere around there. We've done a full 360. And then the other one on the other side, somewhere around like that. Okay, and then I'm going to pop in the cherry blossom. So there's two branches of these in this arrangement, and they add like a really nice depth because you've got this slightly deeper, almost burgundy, but it kind of really brings out the pink in the rest of the stems. And it's just a lovely, full, abundant stem for spring. So I'm going to get one in about there. So bending that quite a bit, actually. So it's a lovely tall stem as well. Just so we get a nice touch of that blossom at the front. And then again, have this one much higher, actually, at the back, just to make it feel as natural as possible, that nothing is the same height. And really kind of tweak out all of these stems and use the wire within them to bend them into your like desired shape. And then we've got 3 of our blush quince, which has this lovely touch of pink, but not too much. I love the creamy blooms on this, very realistic. And again, it's still quite nice and twiggy, which I love. So yeah, just bending these out, which I have already done because these were used for photos. So yeah, when you receive them, they'll be much kind of straighter, but just by bending them out and wiggling them a little bit, makes them feel even more realistic. So I'm just going to turn this towards me for a second whilst I figure out where I want these. So I'm going to have one lower down at the front. And because those initial stems we put in may have moved, you might just want to try and manipulate them back round now that we're kind of getting to that point where nearly all of them are in. And the other one slightly higher up, but again coming forward, just because I feel like this stem brings everything about this arrangement to life. So I do really want it to be very much seen. And then the last one I'm going to have at the back, just to kind of bridge this kind of gap together. So yeah, coming in at about there. Don't need to bend this one much at all, just very, very slight little inch on the end there. Something like that. And then really it's just all about manipulating these stems into a position that you're happy with. And I think with blossom, when you've got lots like this, you don't want it to just be like clumped together. That's where it can start to feel literally like you've just thrown it into the vase. It's that careful kind of placement to make it have that kind of negative space in between it, which just basically means having space around the stem, yeah, and just making it feel very natural. And that can take a little practice. You might find 2 or 3 goes, and that's fine. But yeah, in the middle here, I don't know if you can tell, but I feel like that is quite clumped. Just this area here, there's quite a lot going on. Love the magnolia in the front, but I feel like everything else behind it is just a bit too much. So just by kind of almost untangling some of the stems and pushing some of them back and bending them in different directions, you're going to give everything just a lot more that kind of light and airy touch, which for me is what spring is all about. So let's see if that's made a difference. You'll probably say, no, not at all. Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, just take your time with it is all I would say, and enjoy it, because it is very therapeutic to put together. But that is our lovely spring spring blossom arrangement. Thanks for watching, guys.